In the silent hours before morning, you awaken once more. Even though the room is still, something is stirring. The heart refuses to sleep, the mind remains vigilant. You wonder why it's so easy to lose sleep. Why does peace appear to come to others but not to you? Your body is not broken in this delicate moment. It is requesting equilibrium. The old survival messenger cortisol, which is now rising at the incorrect time and keeping you awake as your soul aches to give up, is the messenger. According to science, your cortisol levels should be low during these hours, allowing your muscles to heal and your memory to regenerate. However, the modern society is always telling you to stay awake. Your inner clock gets confused by screens, late-night musings, and hidden sweets. Thus, the resting rhythm is inverted. Harmony may be restored, though. I've discovered 6 easy, natural techniques to soothe this inner storm throughout the years. Techniques that are grounded in awareness, molded by nature, and validated by science. 1 tablespoon is all that is needed for each. However, each has the ability to bring the body back to peace and remind it that the night was always for healing rather than worry. The first of the 6 will be discussed first. A golden fluid full of knowledge and warmth. Most people attempt to avoid raw apple cider vinegar because it still contains the mother, that hazy veil. The gut-brain axis, which connects your digestion and emotions, is immediately addressed by the peaceful community of life, minerals, enzymes, and beneficial bacteria that reside in that murkiness. Often, your stomach is where your thoughts start. The body recalls tranquility when this internal dialogue is at ease. Take 1 spoonful of this vinegar with 4 ounces of warm water half an hour before bed. Something starts to change in a matter of seconds. Throughout the night, your blood sugar, which frequently fluctuates like an erratic tide, begins to stabilize. As if danger were imminent, the adrenal glands jump to your aid when your blood sugar plummets at 2 in the morning, saturating your system with cortisol. However, that warning never goes off until equilibrium is restored. The breath deepens and the heart slows. A tiny amount of apple cider vinegar taken in the evening lowered blood sugar levels by 4% in the morning, according to research from Arizona State University. A straightforward figure, but the difference between a body that rests comfortably and one that panics in the dark. The vinegar's acetic acid slows the breakdown of complex carbs into sugar, acting as a kind of gatekeeper. It protects you against the unexpected drops that rob your sleep by setting a natural limit on digestion. Warm water is important. While warm water opens the channels and facilitates smooth absorption, cold water shocks the body and tightens the nerves. Carefully measure out no more than 1 tablespoon. This is a lesson in accuracy rather than a remedy for excess. Although the sourness may initially startle you, your vagus nerve, the great transmitter between your mind and body, uses it as a language of awakening. Even though the initial taste could be harsh, it tells your nervous system to relax and let go of the day's hold. Use no more than 1/4 teaspoon of raw honey if the flavor seems overpowering. While the vinegar continues its silent work of balance, the sweetness soothes the sharpness. They create a momentary glass meditation together. Warmth and serenity, effort and ease, sour and sweet. What the elders once understood without measuring is now supported by studies. When older persons follow this nightly routine for 2 weeks, their midnight cortisol spikes are reduced by about 1/4. It is profound, organic, and straightforward. The wisdom of modest deeds is back. You can intentionally remind your body to relax by taking 1 tablespoon. It's not magic, it's memory. The body remembers tranquility when we give it the time to listen. The second of these 6 cures is not unique or exotic. It is an element that is silently waiting to be restored within you. Magnesium. Tension becomes the body's language when this mineral is absent. The muscles tense up. The nervous system continues to be ensnared in a silent maelstrom of vigilance as the mind stands watch. Insufficient magnesium prevents the body from exhaling completely. Even in the darkness, it is prepared for combat. The secret to rest is magnesium glycinate in particular. Taken as 1 tablespoon of powder mixed in warm water before bed, it does more than ease muscle strain. It assists in blocking the exact routes that cortisol uses to keep you awake. According to science, around 70% of persons have a magnesium deficiency, and that number rises even further for people over 60. There is more to this deficit than just a figure. It is the invisible cause of the difficulty that many elderly bodies have falling asleep. When older persons with insomnia took 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate every night, their cortisol levels decreased by over a third, and their deep sleep duration increased by almost an hour, according to research conducted in Ireland. GABA, the neurotransmitter of calm, is produced with the help of magnesium. GABA tells the brain, "You are safe. You may rest now." This message wanes when magnesium isn't present. Powder enters the body practically instantly when it passes through the tissues of the mouth and throat because it dissolves more quickly than pills. It starts working quietly, releasing tension from the body. Because it is attached to glycine, an amino acid with its own properties, the glycinate form is unique in that it directs magnesium to the cells that require it most. This union lets the mineral to traverse the blood-brain barrier, reaching the mind where rest begins. Take careful measurements. 6 ounces of warm water are combined with 1 level tablespoon, or roughly 400 milligrams. Consume it gradually over a few minutes. Allow the ritual to include the act itself. No rush, no resistance. As a reminder that even mending takes time, if the abrupt adjustment is made too soon, it may result in a momentary drop in pressure. Many experience a gentle wave of silent decline within 20 minutes. Others might need to practice consistently for a few nights. Magnesium has the straightforward yet significant function of restoring equilibrium to the organism. According to current research, one of the main reasons why older persons experience middle-of-night awakenings is a lack of this mineral. Replacing it is more than just adding to it. It's a moment of remembering. It is restoring to the body what contemporary life has gradually robbed it of, enabling it to let go of the day, mute the cry of cortisol, and ultimately fall into the profound, unprotected sleep it was designed to experience. The final treatment comes from a fruit both simple and profound, the tart cherry. It has more than just color in its deep red skin. It contains one of nature's most abundant supplies of melatonin, the hormone that quietly tells the body to go to sleep. Its gift, however, goes beyond just slumber. Anthocyanins are substances found in 1 tablespoon of tart cherry concentrate mixed with water. Natural pigments that reduce inflammation and ease the pathways that cause the nighttime release of cortisol. The body frequently reacts as though it is being attacked when it detects inflammation, even if it is something minor like joint stiffness or aging-related cellular tiredness. The surge of cortisol is protective rather than malicious. However, the night loses its tranquility when that reaction never ends. The anthocyanins in tart cherries function as mediators, bringing order where there was chaos, as if they were whispering to the immune system, "You may stand down." Researchers at Louisiana State University found that drinking sour cherry juice twice a day helped elderly persons with persistent sleeplessness. They slept for almost an hour every night, and their inflammatory indicators dropped significantly. 1 tablespoon of concentrated juice, which is over 20 times more potent than ordinary juice, provides these benefits without adding extra sugar or fluids that interfere with sleep. This fruit's harmony is what makes it so lovely. Its natural melatonin is bound with other substances that facilitate its gradual release, lulling you to sleep without the grogginess that many medications leave behind. Our pineal gland's ability to produce melatonin can decrease by half at the age of 60, which permits unrestrained increases in cortisol. Restoring this rhythm is aided by a tiny portion of sour cherry concentrate, which reminds the body of its own design rather than putting it to sleep. Use only unsweetened, unblended, and untreated Montmorency tart cherry concentrate to make it. About 30 minutes before going to bed, combine 1 tablespoon with 6 ounces of water. It will have a harsh flavor, but that acidity is an indication of its strength. Those same acidic notes start to reduce inflammation and lessen the side effects of cortisol as it passes through your system. Some users report that during the first few nights of use, their dreams become more vivid. This isn't a disruption. It is proof that your mind is resuming long-forgotten, deeper REM cycles. The benefits accumulate over time. The anthocyanins help strengthen the blood-brain barrier, restoring damage caused by years of high cortisol. Frequent use helps restore the natural curve of stress hormones throughout the night, in addition to promoting deeper sleep. A simple drink turns into a silent ritual, a scarlet thread connecting science and peace, and a reminder that deep and natural rest is possible. The fourth treatment is derived from an old root that has been used for generations in meditation and healing, ashwagandha. Its Sanskrit name indicates the fragrance of a horse. It is said to provide strength and calm endurance, not for its scent. Beneath its simple form lies a silent power, the capacity to restore balance to the body's complete stress response system. Today, it serves as a master switch for the hormone cortisol, which used to protect us but now frequently keeps us awake. Ashwagandha produces natural substances called anolytes when 1 tablespoon of the powdered root is put into warm milk or water. These plant chemicals gently inhibit the receptors in the brain that cortisol employs to disturb tranquility. Think of them as quiet guardians who are putting a sign that says, "Don't disturb," across the mind. Consistent use can reduce cortisol by almost half in 2 months, according to scientific studies published in the Indian Journal of Psychological Medicine. The biggest alleviation occurs at night when sleep should be at its deepest. The tiny yet powerful adrenal glands, which sit atop your kidneys, frequently become exhausted from years of excessive strain. Ashwagandha calms the incessant alert that comes with modern life and helps people remember their rhythm. It is a natural substance known to scientists as an adaptogen, which aids the body in adjusting to stress instead of avoiding it. It builds resilience over time rather than reliance by teaching the system how to regain its own equilibrium rather than imposing sleep like a seditious drug. It starts to soothe the HPA axis when taken around an hour before bed, the channel of communication between the adrenal glands and brain. This is the stress command center. When it achieves harmony, the body follows. Because it contains the entire spectrum of the root chemicals, the powder form is essential. Instead of everybody working alone, they are all cooperating. To make, stir 1 level spoonful into 8 ounces of heated milk, vegan or dairy. The natural fat facilitates the herb's more thorough absorption, while the warmth opens the body's channels. Some people think it tastes bitter or earthy, like the land it comes from. A dash of nutmeg or cinnamon can provide its own subtle calm and soften the flavor. Consider it a nightly act of grounding before giving yourself over to sleep, more like a ritual than a chore. The effects of ashwagandha build up over time. Every night contributes a tiny bit of serenity that weaves into a resilient tapestry. Many people experience lighter mornings and deeper sleep after a few weeks. Its advantages are more extensive for senior citizens. It subtly promotes thyroid function, which is another protector of hormonal equilibrium. By touching multiple layers of the body's wisdom in this way, a single tablespoon serves as a reminder that true power comes from effortless, consistent serenity rather than tension. The fifth cure is straightforward, well-known, and subtly effective. Raw honey that has been collected from the surrounding countryside. It's not just sweetness, it's equilibrium. Every golden drop contains fructose and glucose in perfect balance, creating a mild fuel source that keeps the body going all night. The brain starts to fear scarcity when the liver's energy reserves are depleted. It awakens the body and floods it with adrenaline and cortisol in a desperate attempt to turn muscle tissue into new sugar. This midnight fear can be avoided by consuming 1 spoonful of raw, unprocessed honey prior to bedtime. It maintains a steady glucose flow, allowing the body and mind to remain at ease. Scottish researchers discovered that consuming honey prior to bed can increase the production of melatonin, the body's natural signal for relaxation, and decrease stress hormones by as much as 50%. This is accomplished by a series of chemical reactions that start with the amino acid tryptophan, which changes into serotonin and melatonin. In the end, nature's own design, rather than medicine, creates a gentle cascade toward tranquility. But this insight is only preserved in raw honey. The living enzymes are no longer present in the processed versions, which are transparent and inert in plastic bottles. These are the same factors that soothe the nervous system and return cortisol to its resting level. True honey is thick, fragrant, unfiltered, and includes more than 200 active chemicals, such as pinosin and quercetin, which can both calm the neurons that cause the stress response by passing through the blood-brain barrier. Another layer of harmony is added by local honey. By lowering inflammatory responses that can also trigger the release of cortisol, pollen collected from surrounding flowers softly teaches your immune system to be more tolerant. The land itself seems to give you equilibrium, reminding your body that it is a part of something stable and long-lasting. About 20 minutes before bed, take a level spoonful straight from the spoon. Allow it to sit on the tongue and gradually melt. Never mix it with water or tea. Its passage through the body is altered by the dilution. Honey doesn't raise blood sugar levels at this exact concentration. By stabilizing it instead, it releases energy in sync with your sleep cycle. Just enough insulin is produced to enable tryptophan to enter the brain and start the conversion process into melatonin and serotonin. The sleep pattern frequently starts to mend itself within a few nights. Balance has been restored in as little as 2 weeks, even for patients with disturbed cortisol rhythms. The parasympathetic nervous system, which signals the body that it is safe to relax but that moderation is important, is supported by the trace amounts of magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins found in raw honey. If you take more than 1 tablespoon, the impact is reversed and you might wake up. Precision, not plenty, is the key to healing. By transforming sweetness into silence and tranquility into sleep, a single spoonful of raw honey consumed with presence can become a nightly ritual of peace. The ultimate solution is both straightforward and profound: powdered glycine. Despite being merely an amino acid that the body needs naturally to create collagen, it has a subtle power that few people are aware of. Glycine was found to have the ability to change sleep itself by researchers in Japan who were investigating chronic insomnia. The body remembers how to get a good night's sleep when just 1 tablespoon, or roughly 3 grams, is consumed before bed. By interacting with NMDA receptors in the brain, it reduces body temperature and signals that night has arrived, allowing for the cessation of alertness. Cortisol levels decrease throughout the night as the body cools, not only when you go to sleep. Science saw quantifiable outcomes. Glycine users slept about 40% faster, woke up half as frequently, and had stable hormone levels till morning. Chemical sedation is not what this is. Natural regulation is what it is. The body must chill by roughly 2 degrees in order to fall asleep. However, a high cortisol level keeps the brain heated as if there were invisible dangers all night long. By expanding the blood vessels close to the skin, releasing heat that has been retained, and promoting the restoration of quiet, glycine helps the body regain its natural rhythm. Glycine functions through the brainstem and spinal cord as one of the body's primary inhibitory neurotransmitters. Its job is straightforward: to signal to all the nerves that the day's work is finished. It must calm the system. The impulses that cause anxiety and tension are muffled as this messenger moves. At first, the effect is subtle, a delicate cooling behind the eyes, a soft cooling in the chest, but it quickly transforms into a wave of serenity that permeates the entire body. The powder form is necessary. Frequently, tablets dissolve too slowly, missing the exact moment when the body is prepared to fall asleep. Just before bed, combine 4 ounces of water with 1 level spoonful of glycine. It has a little sweetness to it, almost like sugar-tinted water. It is simple and has no aftertaste or weight. The body starts to release its grip after 30 minutes. The mind comes next. Glycine does not induce unconsciousness like sleeping drugs do. Even with fewer total hours, it prolongs the deep sleep phase by almost a fifth and lessens weariness by improving the basic architecture of rest. Many people feel lighter and more lucid when they wake up, as if their sleep had been focused rather than prolonged. Additionally, research shows that glycine improves cognitive function the following morning, improving memory and concentration more efficiently than lengthier, restless sleep. It's more than just rest, it's a restoration. Glycine supports repair in addition to sleep. Glutathione, the master antioxidant that repairs cellular damage caused by prolonged stress and elevated cortisol, is produced by the body using it. Every night spent sleeping with glycine turns into a restorative, peaceful reconstruction. The nervous system gradually picks up a new pattern, one of safety rather than survival. Even in its simplicity, there is grace. Just one spoonful of sugar in water, taken mindfully, with no intricate ceremony or taste to suffer. That tiny gesture contains the invitation to relax, to extinguish mental flames, and to keep in mind that finding profound rest is something to be allowed rather than something to strive for. The body doesn't need to be persuaded to go to sleep once it feels secure, it just does. And modest and inconspicuous, glycine aids in its memory of how. These solutions are neither far-flung nor unusual. They are not from secret traditions or hidden valleys. Your body is already familiar with all of these aspects of the natural environment. It used to speak a language fluently before the noise of modern life overwhelmed every quiet moment. Ashwagandha, vinegar, cherries, honey, glycine, and magnesium. Each one reminds the body of balance, quiet, and the rhythm that was never really lost while meeting it where it is. These aren't miracle drugs. Invitations are what they are. Simple, small actions that help you realign with your biological knowledge. They calm the cortisol storm that keeps the body exhausted and the mind restless, 1 tablespoon at a time. Every practice leads to the same destination, whether you start with the chilly clarity of glycine, the earthy calm of ashwagandha, or the delicate sweetness of honey. A night when sleep comes easily and without coercion. It's possible that these treatments complement one another even more. Glycine, honey, or magnesium with a spoonful of sour cherry juice. Combinations that create a spiritual and scientific ceremony. Presence is more important than perfection. In order to start retraining your nervous system to trust the night again, you must take these remedies mindfully. Your body was made to sleep. In the past, its breathing, hormones, circulation, and systems all worked in unison with the sun's rise and set. However, screens, artificial lighting, and constant anxiety have completely disrupted that cycle. We're just disconnected, not broken. These organic components aid in bridging that divide by serving as a constant reminder to each cell that quiet is safe and that serenity is achievable. Consider each spoonful as an act of remembering rather than as a supplement. It is the body's signal that I am ready to return. Sleep starts to seem more like returning home with time, patience, and a little faith. The night, which was once a place of struggle, turns back into a haven as the breath deepens and the pulse calms. Allowing sleep is more important here than trying to force it. It involves letting go of the notion that you have to struggle for sleep, and instead learning to get it. The normal cortisol cycle may have been broken by modern living, but nature has subtly left the means to repair it at hand. These 6 easy fixes are more than just fixes. They serve as a reminder of the subtle intelligence of your body. Every night presents a fresh opportunity to listen, to heal, to reestablish harmony. There are still sweet dreams. They are waiting for you to recall what it feels like to be at peace, just beyond 1 mindful tablespoon.